cooking up something good here at home. We are cooking up something good here at home.
Hello and welcome to our program today. If you could only see what goes on behind the cameras. One day we're going to turn the cameras around. If you could see what my kitchen elves are carrying on about today, words cannot describe it, let me just say that. But anyway, we're so glad you dropped by today. And you know, this book is one of my most precious possessions because it's God's Word. And a daily diet of this, some portion of this every morning, keeps me fit spiritually. And it's just like in the natural, if you don't eat good things every day, then you'd suffer for it. But when you take a portion of this every day and you take it to you and you apply it to your life, it will do wonders for you. Changes your outlook every morning, it makes the day start a little brighter. And you're reminded sometimes through the day when you're having a problem or a struggle, or you just feel, oh God, am I going to make it? And He will quicken that word that maybe you've just read that morning. One of my favorite verses is in Hebrews 13, verse 8, that says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. He is my Savior, He is my friend, and He never, ever changes. You know, I've had friends that I thought, boy, you know, we're going to be friends forever. And whatever happens, a bridge in our relationship causes, you know, I don't see them for a long time. Maybe they move away because there's a lot of change. One thing that's constant, the knowledge that Jesus Christ will never change. He loves you no matter what's going on, no matter who you are, what you've done. He loves you. And what He longs for most is a relationship with you. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. His love is constant. Hebrews 13:8 says that. Today we're making a quick meatloaf dinner for you and your family. And we'll be right back after the hint. Here's today's at-home hint. Whenever a recipe calls for oil and beaten egg, measure the oil first and then beat the egg in the same cup. All of the egg will slide out easily.
If you have an at-home hint, a favorite recipe, or just a friendly greeting you'd like to share, we'd like to hear from you. Post it in the comments of this video or visit our Facebook page.
This is a funny farm today, I'm telling you, someday. All right, the first thing we're going to make is, you know how you want to make meatloaf sometime for your family, and you know it has to bake an hour, hour and a half, and you just don't have that time? Well, today I'm going to show you how to make it, and you can cook it and bake it in about 30 to 35 minutes. You can have meatloaf for your family, okay? First of all, it's going to be a meatloaf that has a gravy, and we're starting with the gravy because it has to cook a little while. So we have just melted some butter in our skillet. We're going to add some minced, finely chopped or minced onion. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. And we're going to put some mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, don't put it in. You don't have to. But these are drained mushrooms. And these are just going to, oh boy, these are going to just brown up a little bit. We're getting those started. And we want them to saute. We don't want the onion to burn, but we sure want those mushrooms to saute and just get some brown color on them. I tell you, as always, if you put onion in a butter, the smell is indescribable. Indescribably delicious, as they say. All right, so we're going to let that cook. I don't want that to go too high. I'm going to bring the heat down just a little bit so it goes slowly. And while that's happening, this is the meatloaf mix. Now you can use your own, but this is a quick and easy one. I just want to show you. I have about 1.5 pounds of lean ground beef. We're going to put 1/3 cup chopped onion, some green pepper, about 1/3 cup, okay, and 1 cup of oatmeal. You say, in a meatloaf? Oh yeah, that's good, that's fiber, that's good for you. All right, 2 slices of white bread that we have just roughly, broken into pieces, and you can make them small, you can make them a little bit larger, whatever, just put those in there too, all right? And in order to soften the oatmeal, give it some moisture, we have between 1/3 and 1/2 cup, whatever you think. It's something that you're going to probably make a decision. I wouldn't put it all in, hold a little bit out, okay? Now, we're gonna do some salt and pepper. We have the coarse kosher salt in here that we're grinding because it bursts the flavor. We love that, okay? And freshly ground pepper, which is nothing to compare with that. And just, again, it's worth the time and the effort. You know, they're not expensive. These pepper meals, they're not expensive. So it's worth the investment just to get that for you and your family. All right, now we're gonna add some, and this is great. This is Mrs. Dash seasoning. Learned to use this when my mother could not have salt anymore because she was on a restricted diet. This has everything in it and no salt, salt-free. Great, it's a great tool if you're on a restricted diet. All right, tablespoon of Dijon mustard. We don't want to use that one. Let's use this one. Dijon just brings a flavor. Oh, yum. If you've never used Dijon, try picking up a jar of that. Paul won't, I mean, he even asks for it when he gets a sandwich in a restaurant. Do you have Dijon mustard? And they usually do. It's amazing. All right, so we have that and we have some ketchup. And I'm going to put some inside, but I'm also going to put some on the top. I'm just going to put some like that. Let me see how we're doing over here with the, they're doing good. Okay, mushrooms and the onions are coming along. Very good. Now, I'm going to put some gloves on here. No, I'm not coloring my hair, but it looks like it, huh? Okay. And no, Mike, we're not saving these from when I did color my hair. I didn't save them and bring them today to do this. And just get in there and, you know what? Just mix this meatloaf. Paul's favorite, one of his favorite meals is baked meatloaf. But he likes it that day that I make it, but he really likes it the next day because he puts the meatloaf, slices of meatloaf on a couple of pieces of bread, and he puts ketchup or Dijon mustard on it. And then he loves it that way. When he worked on a job where I had to pack a lunch, oh my goodness, he was always, well, you can think you'll be making any of those meatloaves soon? So I got to the point where I'd make a whole lot of them at one time, put them in the freezer, and bring them out and thaw them down, and he'd have them for his lunch. I have a friend that buys 20 pounds of ground meat at a time, makes them all into meatloaves, and then just packs them in her freezer. You know, if you go to the trouble of getting all the stuff, why not, you know, take advantage of the fact that, well, I'm just cutting the onions, so I'll just go ahead and make a bunch while I'm at it. Okay, and collect any that may have jumped out of the pan. Now, these are muffin tins, and all you do is spray them with some Pam. You can use the big ones, or for the kids, the little ones. All you do is take the meat, and you're gonna pack it into the tin, just like so. These will cook in about 30 to 35 minutes. Bake in the oven, 30 to 35 minutes. They'll pop right out, and the gravy that we're making here will be poured on top. And I'll tell you what, this is such a great, easy way to make meatloaf when you're in a hurry, when you don't have an hour and a half to wait for it to bake. And trust me, it tastes just like the baked meatloaf. It gets that nice crust on it, because that's the part that I like. I like the part that sticks to the bottom of the pan. You know that crusty part? Yes, crispy, that's right, Mike. That's where all the flavor goes too. Okay, so there's some small ones. Now, for the bigger appetites, we can do these nice big ones. Now, they might take a little longer, but you don't have to fill them clear to the top. Okay? So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna make our meatloaves just like that. And you know what? These are kind of cute when you put them out to serve. They really look nice on a plate, especially when you put that wonderful gravy on top that we're making. And this makes a lot. You know, this could be one of those things that you make, you say, oh my goodness, Arlene, I would never use that much or make that many. Well, how about making them and popping them in the freezer for a day when you really need something quick, and you can pull them out. Now, put this in a 350-degree oven and let them bake until when you know how you test for your meatloaf. Just check and make sure that the juices are clear and they're not, you know, like bloody. Okay, we're gonna pop these in the oven, 350 degrees. You might wanna check the smaller ones ahead of the others because they won't take as long to cook. Okay, there we go. Now, let me see here. Okay, this is looking really good. Now what we're going to do here is we're just going to add 1 jar of rich mushroom gravy. And this is going to be what we're going to put on top. Isn't that great? On top of our mushroom, individual mushroom and onion beef meatloaves, okay? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more to our dinner. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you love watching At Home with Arlene Williams? Then be sure to check out our new YouTube channel. It's filled with classic episodes from over 20 years of At Home, and more videos are added each day. And don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home.
We're preparing a quick meatloaf dinner with little tiny, not tiny, but smaller individual meatloaves already in the oven. Now we need a potato to go with that. And we're going to make potatoes Poupon because we really like that flavor. All right, we're going to, a couple of tablespoons of olive oil go into our bowl. And this is what we're going to do with this, is just make a coating. About a clove of garlic, maybe more to your taste, what you like. This is about 5 tablespoons of Poupon mustard. And you say, oh, I never liked mustard. Well, you know what? I never did either, but this tastes good. I love it. When you put it in something like potatoes or put it on that and you add other seasonings to it, this would be some Italian seasoning, okay? And we're just going to mix that around, blend it up a little bit here, like so. Now we add, this is 6 red potatoes, and so we've cut them in chunks like that. If you have those new little tiny baby reds, oh, they'd be perfect for this. Don't even cut them. You don't have to. Just like so. You want to spray a cookie sheet with some Pam just to make sure that they don't stick, because I don't think they will, but just want to make sure that they don't. Ah, these are going to be great. These are going to be tasty, because we're going to bake them at 425 for about 35 to 40 minutes, okay? And we just spread them out, single layer, like so. You get all the goodies out of here. Don't leave anything in the bottom. You know, Mama says that's somebody's bite you left in that bowl. Oh, I really miss her, I'll tell you. She was a great lady. You'd have loved her. Anybody that ever met her, they loved her. You couldn't help it. Couldn't help yourself. She was one of those kind of people that you'd walk into a room and she'd walk into your heart. She was just great. Okay, now that I have mustard on my arm, I'm going to wipe that off first, and then we're going to the oven. 425, that's a high oven, so you're going to want to remember that. That would be this oven down here. I'll tell you, that's a great thing. If you're thinking about redoing your kitchen, invest in 2 ovens. It's worth it. Look at our, wow, that gravy looks awesome. Yum, yum. Just the way you want it. That's going to go over our individual meatloaves. Wonderful. Now, this is a great accompaniment, something really different. I found this recipe and I thought, we're trying it, why not? This is a loaf of bread, a 20-ounce loaf of bread, white bread. And it's broken up into crumbs, kind of like you do for stuffing. This is called corn balls, for lack of a more elaborate fancy name. And then we're going to take a can of cream style corn. Get this out here. And we're going to put that right in there, combine everything in a bowl. You know, that's what I like about dishes that don't take a lot of fuss. You're not playing with them. And who has the time to do that? We just don't have the time to do that anymore. And then we take 3 eggs, and we're going to crack those right in there. Remember, the egg, its purpose, it enriches, but it also binds together, and that's what we need this to do, because we're going to make individual little balls to put on this sheet. Now, we need some celery, diced celery. Actually, you're making stuffing here if you think about it. And also some diced onion, about 1/2 cup of each. And some melted butter. This would be 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Let's see. We'll do our salt and pepper. And you know, I'm trying to be cautious with the salt because so many people are restricted. it's better to not put as much and let them put it on the table after when you serve it if they want more, okay? See, parsley flakes you could be added to this. Okay? And basically what we're going to do, Linda, could you find me some parsley flakes? My kitchen elves forgot my parsley flakes, and I think it adds to this, and we could use that. So, and I know, Linda, that you don't mind, right? No. While she's doing that, I'm going to get another pair of gloves because I need them for, well, maybe I won't get another pair of gloves. Forget that. We'll do it the old-fashioned way with our hands, okay? And we're just going to get in there, mix it up. Does this remind you of stuffing? I mean, basically, that's what this is. Okay? If you don't have it, that's all right, Linda. Not to worry. You know what? That can of corn in there just makes it so moist. It's wonderful. And all we're doing with these now, and again, the eggs are in there to hold the whole stuffing together, like so. And thank you. Did you want to help me open that off? Here, Mike, please. My hands are a little gooey here. You know, this is just home. You know, you get to see this. We don't stop the tape and say, oh, we made a boo-boo. No, we let you see because you know what? This is the way stuff happens at home, right? Absolutely. All right. Now, we're going to make these into balls, individual ones, and just take them like so, about like that, and put them on the cookie sheet that's been sprayed with Pam. All right? Just like that. Now, before we put these in the oven, we're going to pour some melted butter over them. And that is going to give it that added crispness once they hit the oven. And these are going to bake at 350 for about 30 minutes. Okay? You know, somebody said to me not too long ago, Arlene, I was watching your program, and you and your guests were having such a good time. It looked like Lucy and Ethel. Well, you know what? Why can't we laugh? Why can't we have fun? And you know what was the matter, Lucy and Ethel? They were fun to watch. And this isn't going to be a comedy hour, but geez, if you can't laugh and have fun when you're making things in the kitchen, what fun is there in cooking then, you know? You don't want to be like, oh, you can't laugh or have fun. Sure you can, why not? That's your nature, do it. And don't worry, if you make a mistake, who cares? You'll get another chance to make it tomorrow, the next time. Don't be so hard on yourself, it'll be all right, okay? All right, I think we're going to take a break, and we're going to pop these in the oven. When we come back, we're going to show you everything we've prepared today, and maybe even a dessert if we have time.
Just go to ctvn.org/at-home to get all the recipes from today's show for free. That's right, no subscriptions. They're available online at no cost, and more are being added each day. So join us at ctvn.org/at-home to get today's recipes now.
Well, today we've been making this wonderful meatloaf dinner in a hurry, a meatloaf dinner in a hurry. And what I wanted to share with you before we take a little trip around the table is what we had for dessert planned to show you and ran out of time. These are fresh peaches, balsamic vinegar, some black pepper and some brown sugar. And you just clean your peaches, you put it on there, and you chill them down, put a little ice cream on top or some Cool Whip. What a wonderful dessert. Unbelievable. Now, let's take the trip around the table. Here we are. There are individual meatloaves, and I have to show you this. See, we poured that gravy right over it. Here's the little one. There's a little one. Isn't that great? The kids will love that. That's cooked completely through. The larger ones are for the adults, or make all small ones. Who cares? Have two. Put two on their plate. They're going to love them, and they're going to enjoy them. Along with that, we have our Poupon potatoes. And look how nice and brown they get. We just put a little sprinkling of some parsley on top. Very appealing, very tasty, and it all gets done about the same time. And now, the crew is going nuts for the corn balls. I have to tell you that right here. If you were here, you'd be fighting them for the corn balls because the smell is great. They're wonderful. We just added a little bit of paprika on top, and you want to brush them with butter before you put them in the oven to bake. They bake in about 15, 20, 25 minutes. That's one of those dishes that If you have to leave them in a little longer, it's not going to matter. It'll be okay. If they have to go longer, fine. If the meat has to go a little longer, fine. That's why I like this combination for this meal. Add a green salad to it, add some coleslaw. You have a wonderful meal in very little time. It really doesn't take long. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. We sure enjoy coming to you. And you know, there's something about gathering your family around the table, and I know that in these days where everybody's going somewhere, doing something, guess what? It's important for you to have your family, your kids, sit at a dinner table. It's important enough to fight for them to be there. Say, hey, you can do what you want to, but at 6 o'clock we're eating and I expect you to be at the table. That's the place. You teach them respect for one another's opinions. You teach them how to be polite to one another. Table manners, those are all things that you do around the table. Most of all, it's the place where you pull them a little closer because you extend your arms open and you say, I love you enough to come home and prepare this meal for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Give it a try. Just, say, we're going to start anew and afresh, and they're going to fight you on it probably, because, oh, I got to go to tap dance, I got to work it out, because it's really important. As many times a week as you can, endeavor to do it, okay? Well, we always love it when you come into the home, into our at-home, because you know what? We feel like you're part of our family. We really care about you. And as I said at the beginning of the program, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's a friend you can count on. He will never leave you, never forsake you. He is dependable. He's been dependable in my life. And if you think, well, why would he care about me? Because he loves humanity. He loves us so much that he gave his life for us. And we cannot reject that. That was the greatest event for humanity that ever happened. That brings us salvation and a place in heaven. Well, till the next time, be sure to join us because it just wouldn't be the same without you. We'll see you then.
Food provided by McGinnis Sisters Special Food Stores in Brentwood and Monroeville. Taste the world.
Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home. Thank you for watching.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.